it's Vera Sweeney, and I wanted to do a really quick video about 5 different things I learned about family budgeting in the last 2 weeks that I really tried to incorporate it into my life. There's been many mistakes along the way, and if you're just getting started, I thought it would be best to do this really quick video to show you the things that I've learned along the way. So tip number 1, when you're grocery shopping, if you have older children, I suggest you do not bring them with you. Now, little kids, little toddlers, I think that that's not a problem because there will be no heavy bargaining along the aisles. There will be no begging. There will be no sobbing. But I have a 6-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 15-year-old soon to be. And let me tell you, they're pretty persuasive and they do not let down when we enter the cereal aisle. And so while I am trying my hardest to stay within frame here, sometimes it just gets to a point where you're tired and you're worn down and they're begging for their favorite bar, and you just sort of cave in because it's been that kind of week. And if you're being really serious about budgeting and trying to do the best with your money, it might make the most sense if you have the ability to go food shopping on your own, to do it on your own. Because if I have a list and it has 10 things on my list, I will only get those 10 things if I don't have anybody else secretly adding things to my cart. Okay, so tip number 2 is to really look through your pantry. And I don't mean sort of figuratively look through your pantry. I mean actually look through your pantry and decide what it is that you need. So this week I picked up some pretzels because they were on sale and I had a coupon, which feels like a really good idea. But in hindsight, if I were to have looked through my pantry, I would have saw I had Nilla cookies from the week before, I had Triscuits, I had goldfish. There were so many carbs that I could provide my kids for snacks for school that in all actuality, there was no reason why I should have picked up those pretzels. And so now I have 4, and I also had animal crackers, guys. There were 4 different things that I had waiting for me in my pantry that made that pretzel purchase a waste of money. And yes, we will get through it. And now that I'm really understanding family grocery budgeting, I see how much food I really do have in my house. And it was almost like I was blind to it all. Like I never really noticed the amount of food because I was somebody that was always so concerned with variety that I thought to myself, well, I'll give my kids goldfish one day and then I'll give them Nilla cookies for snack, and then when they come home from school I'll give them goldfish crackers and maybe some Triscuits with cheese. You know what? At this point in our lives, it does not have to be that serious, and it's okay if in 1 week they have 2 things to choose from. Maybe in 1 week we're just pretzels and goldfish and that's the end of it. And I'm really okay with that. And so that's something I strongly suggest. I'm a victim of this, me needing variety, me needing everything, me needing all the items for my kids to choose from. And I have learned in week 2 that that is a big problem when it comes to food and grocery budgeting. Tip 3 is a doozy, guys. So I watch this woman, and everyone knows her. I'm saying this woman like she's like some secret that I found, Jordan Page. And she said something that was so profound. I mean, what a crazy thing for me to say, but she said when her children are home, they don't eat anything that is in pouches. So the Go-Go squeezes and the Mott's apple sauces in the pre-packed containers, the goldfish again in the pouches that are meant for school, and that's how she cuts down costs. And I thought to myself, I said, my kids, when they come home from school, the first thing they do is they run to the refrigerator and they grab these pre-packaged pouches that of course I buy in bulk, and I think I'm saving money, which I am. Of course I'm saving money. But they do that. They come home and they buy these pre-packaged snacks, and that's what they eat. And I said to myself in week 2, I'm going to take her advice and I'm going to stop that. So as part of my purchases, I bought bulk applesauce And I said, guys, from now on, when you come home from school, there's bulk goldfish, bulk pretzels, bulk applesauce, and those are the only things that you can have for snack. And I also went to Target yesterday and I picked up a gallon of apple juice for $3.99, their Market Pantry brand. And I said, no more juice boxes. So you guys have to just, if you want to have something to drink, it's water, apple juice. We have a soda stream maker. You can make seltzer. I said these are things that you have to do from now on. No more pre-packaged items. That is strictly for snack. And since I made that decision in the beginning of last week, of course, our pantry is no longer dwindling. Again, I have to reiterate, I have two older children. I have a 7th grader and a 9th grader. So when my kids come home, they don't just take one, they'll take two. So my son will take 2 goldfish pouches because he's a growing boy. And so for me, when I go and I buy a 12-pack, I mean, that thing is gone in a couple of days, if that. And so now I'm able to notice that I'm going through my food a lot slower because we're using the bulk boxes that are not in the pouches. And boy, what a difference that's making. So that video that I saw from Jordan Page really, truly made me realize that the way that I was using my food was incorrect. And so I started to encourage my children to think differently about food as well. And that's been a wonderful thing for us. And I encourage you to do the same. All right, so 2 more to go. Grocery budgeting tips that I've learned the first few weeks of budgeting in 2020. Couponing. So I'm a big couponer. I have always been a couponer. You can go back and look at my YouTube videos. I mean, I was asked to be on extreme couponing. If that gives you any idea of how hard I took it, I declined it because I didn't want to. I just didn't want to do that. But basically, I started clipping coupons again, and a lot of people are against couponing if you look at budget videos. So if you look at budget videos on Facebook, on YouTube, you'll see a lot of people saying, it's a waste of time, I know how to buy the flow of sales, and I really understand the way that the market works, and I know when to buy what. And listen, I completely agree with that. I completely agree with knowing when to buy what. But I cannot, in good faith, continue this journey of budgeting and not incorporate coupons into my routine. So that's just part of who I am. Like, I stopped couponing a year and a half ago, I would say, because I had such a fallout with somebody at a local drugstore. I will not name who they are because I had a very good relationship with the brand for at least 10 years, and I don't want to throw them under the bus, but I had such a negative happening with them in store that I said, I'm never couponing again. I hate these people. I hate what couponing has begun, and I'm done. I'm very cut off your nose to spite your face. That's who I am as a person, and me having to deal with this particular store, the one that's close to me, every single person in that store was so against couponing that whenever I went in to try to do my run, they were so negative and so nasty to me that I just stopped, because I said, I can't mentally and physically deal with this negativity. It was so bad that I stopped, even though I loved it, even though I was doing a YouTube video a week teaching people how to do it. I was teaching my friends how to do it. It was such a part of my life, but I just hated it. It was so negative that I just stopped. Now, starting this up again, I decided what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do it at that store in fear that that attitude is still presented. But what I am going to do is I'm going to try to incorporate it ever so slightly into my grocery shopping and bulk shopping needs. Now, am I going to go full force as I used to go? No, absolutely not, because that is a whole other world. That's a whole other way of thinking. That is buying in cycles. That is a whole other thing. But what I am going to do is I'm going to look for small finds. So for example, this week, Walgreens was having a sale on Tide, and there was a coupon that you can clip online and you had to pick it up in store, and I ended up getting I think it was 20 ounces of Tide for $1.99. I think I'm saying that correctly, but you know, those are the type of things that when you see that and when you apply coupons, you stock up and you save, and that's how you create a stockpile of really worth it items that you store in your basement, and that's how you save money in the long run. So, you know, I'm looking for those type of deals, and I'm taking advantage of them in really small chunks. I am not doing it as I used to do it. I used to do it 100%, but I am incorporating coupons. I started a coupon binder, and again, I'll link to my other coupon binder to show you how I used to do it. But I just have 4 envelopes, like health, cooking, food, beauty, and one more. I can't remember, guys. But I split it up into 4 dimensions, and then I have, like, you know, Bed Bath & Beyond and things like that. What is this one? I have everything that I need in here, and then I have the BJ's thing. You know, I just have one easy binder that I just take with me whenever I go shopping to a store. Like I went to the dollar store yesterday. I took it with me just in case they had Advil or something that I can get for free. I just pick up my binder and I take it with me whenever I go to a store. I went to Target, took my binder with me just in case. I am not doing it how I used to do it, but I am doing it. So I am incorporating coupons moving forward from this moment on, because I think it is worth saving $5, $10 at a time. I don't agree with the people who say not to. My very last tip that I've learned this week and last week as far as grocery budgeting is concerned is to expect the unexpected and to recognize that this is a process. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. So we bought 2 gallons of milk, and that's normally what we buy. Like we pretty much don't go beyond 2 gallons of milk in a typical week. And of course, within 2 or 3 days, our children decided that they love milk and they want to drink milk breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And now we ran out of milk by Wednesday. So yesterday we had no milk. And I looked at my husband and I was like, what are the odds that these children want to drink milk all of a sudden? I don't want to buy any more food. But we had to go get more milk. I mean, of course we had to go get more milk. So we went to get more milk. Of course, now we're in the second column of our budget, and I'm just laughing because normally I'm crying and begging and on my knees trying to get my children to drink more milk. But now that I'm on a strict food budget, all of a sudden they are so thirsty. And so you just have to laugh. Like, you just have to say, this is what's going to happen. I have to have contingencies for it. Like, you know, I went to the doctor this week. I have this horrible breathing thing that's going on for the last month. I can't, you know, I finally figured it out. It's sinusitis. But $70 right out of my other column. And so you have to just be loose. You have to be willing to just understand that things are going to get thrown at you. And that's okay. So the milk thing was comical. I have to say it was comical. And you know, we were at Target and we were just like looking at the prices and we were like, okay, which is the cheapest milk? I mean, these are things that we've just like never really done before. We were really brand loyal, and now we're really budget loyal. So I guess that's the answer. I'm budget loyal. I'm committed to the process. I'm learning as I go, and I'll try to do these videos as I learn more, because I just feel like a lot of people watch these videos because they're like me, not really understanding what to do, but wanting to do it. So I hope this helped in some way. Until next time, if you are interested in budgeting and organizing and just sort of figuring out what is going on with your life, subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, and I'll see you next time.